Hello. How do you do? Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to another special FAQ video. I mean, why the hell not? Right? So once again, I went onto all my social medias and I told you guys to ask me some questions. So we're gonna sit here and read every single one. No, I'm just kidding. That would take over an hour. But we are gonna read a nice lump of them. And thank you again very much to everyone who submitted questions for this video. You guys are great. Great.
Sam!
What?
You're supposed to be reading questions. What are you doing?
Playing War Robots?
What is that?
Wait, you've never heard of War Robots?
Not really, but since they were nice enough to sponsor the video, maybe you should tell us about it.
Okay. War Robots is a free 6v6 tactical shooter that you can play in real time with other people. There's over 150 million players worldwide, and it is jam-packed full of action. So many robots to choose from. I think there's more than 60 of them, and there are 20 unique pilots to control your robots. And yes, I mean unique. There's a lot of different tactics that you can use in this game. For example, all the robots you have are pretty different from one another. There's some tiny ones who move really fast, and then we got the big tanks that are huge. You can also customize your robots, giving them different weapons and different skins. It's pretty cool. There's different game modes you can play, 12 different maps, and this is where having a variety of robots to choose from will really come in handy. Download War Robots using the link in my description, and each player will get the Gareth robot with a unique skin, a full set of weapons, 100 gold, and 400,000 silver. You will also get an extra robot and legendary pilot on levels 10 and 23 if you download the game before May 21st. Don't miss your chance, Steven. I really like how customizable everything is, especially putting different weapons on different robots and playing around with different scenarios. Been having quite a bit of fun with this game. So if you want to help support my channel for free, try it out for yourself. The link is in my description. And as always, good luck, happy gaming, and maybe I'll see you in there. Oh, yeah. Okay, now that we've licked my lime, it's question time! Okay, let's start with Facebook this time. Roberto Bordero asks how to be an entrepreneur on the topic you are passionate about. I'm a drummer too, but I'm a doctor, and I do want to teach in social media the best I can. Looking at you have a great following, and I want to build it. Well, for me, this took quite a while. You know, I've been on YouTube since, I think, like 2006. So unfortunately, I do not have a quick answer for how to grow really fast, but definitely a big important thing that I've learned after doing this for so many years is that you have to try to be consistent. That doesn't mean every single video you post has to be the exact same shit, but I'm talking in terms of when you post stuff. Like for myself, I usually try to post my main content videos every Tuesday. Always try to post on Instagram once a day. Usually I don't on Saturdays, but you know what I mean. Just try to be consistent. Consistency is the key. And just be yourself. If you keep posting stuff, eventually people will see it and share it. It might take a while sometimes, but don't give up. Arnold Maldonado asks, are you a fan of any of the Byzant's dry cymbals, and if so, which? And does thickness, you're in metal playing when it comes to these or anything Byzant's series cymbal, only because I've seen amazing playing with jazz and thin cymbals and wanted your opinion. Thanks. And then Jonathan chimes in and says, does thickness matter? Because my pee-pee's small. I did try a few of the Byzant's dries when I was in Nashville trying out a bunch of Meinls. I ended up going with mostly Byzant's Brilliant, but that being said, the dry ones sounded pretty damn good too. I just haven't tried them on my kit. I'm sure there are metal guys who use those though, and I bet they sound great. Joel asks, do you really live in your parents' basement? Greg Harder asks, what's the one groove you can't help but play and never get tired of? Blast beats! I just went grocery shopping and our total came out to $222. Ooh, good question by Devin Campbell here. What band do you love listening to but hate playing? How about any song that has crazy odd time signatures that I've never listened to before? Usually trying to go into those blind is an effing nightmare. You guys have probably seen on live streams when somebody requests a Between the Buried and Me song or a Dream Theater song that I've never heard or a Meshuggah song that I've never heard. I'm just like... Joshua Moore asks, what is your opinion on electronic drum kits as a whole? Well, in my humble opinion, I obviously prefer playing on a real drum kit, but if you live in an apartment or a small condo or something like that where you can't make a lot of noise, electric drum kits are definitely the way to go. I mean, if you can't make a lot of noise and you want to play drums, you gotta play drums on something, right? How would a 5-ounce bird carry a 1-pound coconut? Wrong answers only. In his cloaca. Here's a good question by Adam Turpin. What purchase or decision helped you in your quest for full-time drumming the most? Well, besides the drum kit, I would have to go with the computer and camera and mics and stuff like that. There's only so much I can do with just a drum kit by itself. But definitely this camera was a big game changer for me. My new gaming computer, well, new, it's like 2 years old now, but that was a big game changer for me. Video editing sped up big time. When are you starting up Lingaping Landscaping Company? Probably February 22nd, 2022. Peter Marquez asks, double pedal or double bass and why? I hate my double pedal, lol 22. I definitely prefer having 2 bass drums as opposed to a double pedal. I always just feel like there's just a little bit of lag on that left foot always. It might not be much, you know, and depends on the pedal brand also. Plus, I just think a drum kit looks so much more badass with 2 bass drums, right? How about this? I got a question for you guys. What do you think of the drummers who have 2 bass drums, but they still use a double pedal anyways? But where? Oh, because it's just for show. If it's just for show, then why don't you stuff a cucumber in your pants? Francesco asks, what is my favorite power metal album? Oh boy. How about Rhapsody? The Symphony of Enchanted Lingape. Jason Fick asks, would you rather fight a midget wrestler or a hyena? Wait. What's the difference? Any regrets swapping from Zildjian to McNEIL? No. Would you record drums with Glenn Fricker? Absolutely I would. Glenn actually hit me up like a month ago now, and he asked me if I had any raw drum tracks I could send him, so I sent him some old files from Access Mundi when we were doing the Decrepit Birth album. I'm pretty sure he did open it, and he was mad that there was no kick drum mic. We just used the trigger for the kicks, so I'm not sure if he's actually going to do anything with it. But Glenn and I have been talking about doing a collab for quite some time now, so it'll happen. And shut up, Chunga! Why do you do for sex so much on me when you video? Oh, you nah. Can you answer in blast beats? Why is 6 afraid of 7? Oh, because 7, 8, 22! What's the capital of Hungary? Really? It's Lingapapest. Okay, let's move over to YouTube. Holy shit, 236 questions, you guys. Matt Thomas asks, if you had to challenge someone in a drum-off, who would it be and why? Well, so far the only person I really did a drum-off with was Derek Roddy. Well, we called it Blasting Off Together. Well, it was originally called Beating Off Together, and then YouTube didn't like that title very much, and they said, nope! I'd love to get Krim on there, I'd love to get Alex Rudinger on there, Alex Bent, Dave McGraw. How about like every metal drummer? And not so much like a drum-off, you know? We want to blast off together. And just, you know, shoot white goo in each other's faces. Any tips for tight, fast tom fills? Just can't speed them up while sounding properly. Practice! Ooh, here's a good one from Farvin. What are your least favorite albums from your favorite bands? Well, since my all-time favorite band is probably Metallica, you know, obviously Load and Reload and Saint Anger just don't really touch the other ones. I didn't really listen to too much Death Magnetic either, to be honest. Apollinario Sagobi asks, which foot technique do you use when you're playing in higher tempos? Great question. Most of the time, I am using the heel up single stroke technique. I guess around tempo 222, no, probably a little faster than that. Maybe like 230, 240. That's when I'll switch to heel toe. Double strokes? Ooh, a great question from Stupid here. When you listen to music with vocals, do you concentrate more on the sound of the words or their meaning, or both? Actually, for the longest time, ever since I can remember, even being a kid, I never really paid attention to the lyrics that much in songs. I'd pay attention to the vocal rhythms, but not so much the lyrics themselves. Even bands that I was in, same thing. I remember when Abigail Williams released In the Shadow of a Thousand Suns, and I was reading through the lyrics, and I was like, oh, that's what Ken is saying there? I don't know, I was always just way more fascinated with the drumming and the music. Maybe that's why I suck at vocals. Luca64 asks, what was your first heavy band that you really enjoyed? 22. Definitely Metallica. I will always remember sitting in Uncle John's red pickup truck, and he was blasting Enter Sandman, and I was like, whoa! How many chodes could a comp chode chomp if a comp chode could chomp chodes? Wow, and comp chode didn't even see this? Zando! How many eggs does Susan typically lay in a day? Fried or scrambled? Oh man. Usually scrambled just because scrambled is a lot easier to make, but I do enjoy a good fried cloaca. Yay Dragons says, will you marry me? JK, I'm a straight male. God damn it. Vistaman XP says, where did you buy your drums? I can't find the Session Studio Select in separate pieces, only as a 4-piece. How did you get them separately? Also love your vids and drumming. Hope you're staying safe out there. Have a great sex. Thank you, Vistaman. Yeah, unfortunately, the Session Customs got discontinued. I originally bought it at Guitar Center though. It came with 1 bass drum and 3 toms. Not not even a snare drum. I originally just had those 4 pieces, and then I bought the Chad Smith Red Hot Chili Chode signature snare drum. That was pretty good for a little bit, but then I got the Joey. Then I eventually ordered another 8-inch tom, and then I got the 16x16 floor tom, and apparently Pearl was in the process of discontinuing Session Custom right when I was in the process of ordering all this stuff, because when it came time to get my bass drum, and they said, oh, sorry, we're discontinuing this, you're gonna have to order this from Japan, and damn it, yeah, that was a little expensive, but having the 2 bass drums, nothing like it. Favorite memory recording with Devin. Yeah, I will never forget this. The very first fart I ripped in front of Devin, he did the opposite of what most people would do. He actually got closer to me so he could smell it. It was pretty bad timing too. I had just gotten off the plane, but he said he liked the flavor. You have a lot of talent behind the camera. Why don't you go play live? I don't know. How about for starters, I don't want to get AIDS. Great question here by Dave. What steps do you employ when learning a complicated song? First of all, you got to figure out if it's just in 4/4 or if it's got odd time signatures, because if you got odd time signatures, that just takes the ball into a way other Bach cav. Next, you'll learn the actual beats for each part. And then if there's any weird fills, that's your next step. Learn each fill, part by part. Just rewind, put it all together. What do you got? Is Danny Carey the best drummer in the world today? He's one of them. Hey, there's Nerical. He says, is there a certain angle for the snare if you're playing traditional grip? Not necessarily. When I was in high school and doing marching band, we had the snares flat in front of us and we were still using traditional grip. I think the main reason, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the main reason traditional grip was invented was because people had the snare drums way back in the day. In marching band, they had the sling, right? So the snare was resting on them at an angle, so they weren't really able to play it traditional grip. I'm sure there's a picture I can probably pull up here to show you. That'll explain it better than my Bachism. Zombie Eater wants to know, what can I do to stop my hand from hurting after playing drums? I've actually been seeing this question a lot lately. And as far as I can remember, ever since I was a kid, I would always get hand cramps from playing drums too much. Yeah, it usually means you're playing a little too much, maybe you're gripping a little too hard. But what a lot of new drummers don't realize is that it is totally possible to practice too much. Usually you think, hey, the more you practice something, the better you'll get at it. But also you need to remember that you have to give your muscles time to recover or else they'll never get stronger. If you just keep... Busy Greatbeard says, it looks like you have a drum rack incorporated in your setup. In my opinion, it looks cool, but why do you use it besides the fact that you have a lot of stuff to mount on it? Most pro drum kits that I see seem to have individual stands for everything. Number 1, in my opinion, the rack looks so much cooler. Number 2, since I have so much stuff, I wanted to eliminate all the tripods all over the place because I felt like having the tripods all over the place, the tripods were getting in the way of each other. So using the rack eliminated that problem. Having a drum rack is also pretty convenient on tour. You can set up your entire drum kit off stage, and when it's ready to be moved on stage, you can just move the entire rack at once as long as you have enough people to help you. Baseball Guy 69 wants to know, how do I tune my drums so well? I don't do it. It's the drum dial. Seriously, get yourself one of these, you will not regret it. This thing measures the tightness of your drum head on each lug. So you put it on the drum head itself about 1 inch from each lug, and each lug will give you a number on how tight it is. So then all you gotta do is tune each lug to the same number, and that gets you in the ballpark of sounding pretty damn good. How do you split your practice time? Well, these days I just do not have time to practice anymore. My real practice time is during the drumming streams, really. There's no time for anything anymore, Susan. Mark Hines wants to know, what's your overall opinion on rudiments? Do you think they are an absolute necessity, or can a drummer still be good without learning many or any at all? I don't think they're an absolute necessity, but there's some rudiments that will really help you get around the kit depending on what kind of fills you're trying to do and what kind of guitar accents you're trying to complement. Start with the paradiddle and the paradiddle-diddle. I'm gonna diddle your diddle. Hey, there's knives again. How much to shave your head? Oh, geez. I don't know. Some people would tell you, oh, it's just hair, it'll grow back, but I don't know, it took me years. I feel like it would have to be like a life-changing amount of money for me to shave my head. Pepperqueef, he says, how much ling would a lingape chode if a lingape could lingape? My girlfriend wants a Pearl drum set and she wants to learn blast beats. Is she the one? Sounds like it. Benjamin Patry asks, since when and why did you start using drum triggers? That is a very good question. I guess it all started when I first heard Dimmu Borgir's puritanical euphoric misanthropia. When I heard Nick Barker's drumming on that album, I was like, holy shit. I didn't even realize that it was triggers at first. I just thought he had some kind of special drum set that made them sound like super mighty. But yeah, after research, I had discovered that he was using triggers. And I even went as far as to find out what exact module he was using because I wanted to get my hands on that shit. Which one was the hottest Spice Girl? Oh shit, I don't remember their names now, but the one that was on Crotch Gapers 3. Devin wants to know, what has been the best part about going full-time on YouTube? First of all, not having to work for somebody else is fucking amazing. Being your own boss is like the coolest thing ever. Plus, not having to commute to go to work. If I still had to get on the bus every day or get in the car to, do what I had to do, it's just one more thing. Right? Yeah, the best part is definitely waking up and just coming right down here and saying, okay, what am I getting done today? How to lingape? Oh! Senator Bachil wants to know, any tips for growing hair? Yeah, don't cut it. Bachi Billis, what is your opinion on opinions? Fuck opinions. Does Kindergarten Fight Club sound like a good band name? Yeah, sure, go for it. But not as good as Kindergarten Fisting Club. How did you make a career out of touring when you did tour? I didn't. I did not make much money on tour. Can you speak German? Achtung! If you had to pick drums or sex, why don't you just cut off my balls? Akakoden asks, what is your worst fail in a live gig? Oh boy. I'll never forget this. I don't remember where exactly it was, but I was with Abigail Williams. We had just finished our set, so I stood up and I was getting ready to throw my drumsticks into the crowd, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I threw the stick with my right hand, and I'm a lefty. I'm much better at throwing things with my left hand. Don't know why, threw it with my right hand. For some reason, I let go of the stick way too late in the throw, and I ended up whipping some kid right in the face with my drumstick. I felt so bad, I ended up going down there and giving him a brand new pair of sticks. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to hit you in the face. He was a good sport about it, though. Alrighty, well, that's probably good for the questions today. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you again for all the questions.
We'll be seeing each other again very soon.
But for now, this concludes our broadcast, Gabe. Click.